by DawnDares2Dream today to see what we're all about. Well, let me give you a brief summary of my purpose here on my channel. My goal is to inspire adults to dream again. Because as we go through life, we tend to put our dreams on the back burner as we take on our different roles and responsibilities. And I'm here to inspire you to pick those dreams back up and to pursue them again. And today, dreamers, we are having another healthy video. Yes, we are making homemade juice. This is actually the first juice recipe I ever learned. I'm going to say about 8, 9, 10 years ago, somewhere in that range. Me and my son's dad, we did a cleanse. I can't remember the name of the cleanse, but it was one of those cleanses where you get the olive oil, the cold pressed olive oil, and you have to drink it and then take all these pills, and it helps to kind of clean your system out. And they want you to eat raw food. So we figured we would juice some of our food, and this is the recipe that we came up with. So let me tell you what's actually going to go into this juice. We're going to have carrots, apples, beets, ginger, and celery. I neglected to take the celery out, but celery is a key component for this juice. So I'm going to go ahead and dig in this fridge and get the celery and get that cleaned off, and then we are going to get started making our juice. But before we even do that, I want to let you know what our topic is about today. We are actually on the Law of Attraction Action Guide, Key 7. And Key 7 is mindset is key. And yes, I talk a lot about mindset because mindset is everything. If you don't set your mind to do it, if you don't have a thought about doing it, it will never get done because you never thought of it, right? And if you hear from someone else, you still have to set your mind to say, I'm going to do that, or I like that concept or idea, I'm going to implement it in my life, and then you believe in it, then you go ahead and take action. But you still start with the thought in your mind. Now, we're going to talk a little bit about that. We're also going to talk about the exercise in the action guide so that you can help to set your mindset, to help set your focus. So like I said, I'm going to get that celery and then we're going to get started. Now, dreamers, I do have a question for you. Have you ever done one of those cleanses where you drink the olive oil? Because I'm telling you, your whole system wants to gag and it doesn't want to go down. Now, of course, you cut it, I think, with like fresh lemon, so you squeeze some lemons in it and it helps you to be able to digest it, but your whole body's like the whole time while you are drinking this. But when you drink that bottle, it's about this big, when you drink that, you feel so accomplished, like, man, I set my mind to it and I did it. Because I'm telling you, your body is like rejecting it every step of the way. But when you have convinced yourself that you are on this path, you're going to do this, you're going to do this cleanse, you're going to lose this weight, and you're serious about it, in your mind, you've really made your mind up, you will get it done. Because I know I did. And that wasn't the last time I actually drank some olive oil. I think I've done it 2 other times. I don't do that anymore. I don't make myself suffer through those types of cleanses. I just decided maybe if I just eat better on a daily basis, I might not need one of those cleanses. That's kind of what I've been doing lately in my life. So what we're going to do, I'm actually going to keep these leaves on the celery because we're going to use that to juice. I did wash the celery off. So we're going to use that. Now, mainly everything is going to go into the juicer whole. And once I have everything cut the way that I want, then I'll bring the juicer closer so that you can kind of see what's going on. Now, I've always wanted a juicer, I guess, before I met my son's dad. But after him and I splitting, I still needed a juicer because I went on another cleanse. That's how I got this bad boy. I went on another olive oil cleanse. I guess about 6 years ago I did one. I had some coworkers that, I had one coworker in particular. I worked at Texas Southern University and I had a male coworker who was doing this cleanse. And he knew I always like to try to be healthy. So he asked a couple of us all of us to go on it with us, and 2 of us decided to do it. And on that particular cleanse, we didn't eat anything solid for 7 days. So all we did was fresh juice like this and smoothies, no sugar. And it wasn't as tough as you would think it could be. But what ticked me off, we called the guy who created the cleanse because my coworker wanted to know why we needed to do this 7-day not eating food. And do you know, he really didn't have a real good reason why we basically were fasting for 7 days. And so I was kind of upset. And from that point on, I realized that people make up these cleanses and these things that they say are healthy for us to do, and let's do them because they work for them. That doesn't mean it's going to work for me. So I decided, like I said, to just stay on a path of eating pretty decently. I fall off, every now and then, but I'm not drinking no more olive oil, I don't believe, for the rest of my life. But I could do a no meat, a fast where I'm just drinking. I could do that, but I don't think I want to drink olive oil so that it can cleanse, make my pipe slippery so everything can shoot out. That's what I think the purpose is. This is to lube up our digestive tract so that it can grab all of those impurities or that waste that's still kind of stuck in there that doesn't normally come out, and it helps it all to be flushed out. That's what I think the purpose is. Now, this juicer says you don't have to, you see as big as the spout is, this whole apple fits in. So when I do this particular juice, I buy the smaller apples intentionally. But I used to have a core that I would stick in the middle here and I could get the core out. I don't have that. And I'm thinking if I don't core this, there may be an issue. But you know what? I'm not going to worry about coring it. I'm going to just stick it in here. So my advice for you, if you are going to purchase a juicer, you want to make sure you have a bigger one that has a big intake area. Because if you do one of the smaller ones, then you have to cut up everything. And that can be a bit tedious, especially if you have to cut things into smaller portions. So I really like this because the mouth is really large and I can just drop the apple in there. So we're gonna go ahead and get started. And I also like this juicer because it came with this pitcher. So it just sits right here and the juice shoots out and then the trash goes in the back in here. Now the one thing I don't like about juicing is the mess that it makes. It makes a total mess, and you'll see when we finish. So what I'm going to do, I'm probably not going to have you see the whole thing because this is going to be so loud you won't even be able to hear me speak. But I'll show you like the beginning of what it looks like to put everything in here. And you see all this amount of fruit. You see all these apples in here. I'll be surprised if we actually fill the pitcher up. So when you do this, it's like you feel like there's so much waste when you juice versus when you blend. As you see when I do the smoothies or the shakes, all of the fruit is included in the shake. So the skin, everything is in there because it was blended up. With juicing, it only juiced the inside of the fruit, and basically it spits out in the back all of the peeling. So you aren't really getting everything. And then with the carrots, I don't know what it's spitting out or what it's keeping, but it's keeping some, but a lot of the carrot is going to be in the trash bin. So it's like, some people may say you're losing some of your nutrients when you juice. So I don't juice a lot, I don't juice all the time, but sometimes I'll juice when I know I'm going to go on just a drink diet for like a week. If I'm going to do something like that, I will juice this because I will use this as liquid for my smoothies or just for a quick drink for myself, just something that's tasty, because I love the way the ginger flavors the actual juice. So we're going to go ahead and get started. So gotta turn this baby on. Okay, so as you can see, we did not fill up the container. Put that there. We got maybe halfway, and that's my point. Now, if you want to, you could take this and you could strain it so that you could have a thinner juice. I don't mind the little bits and pieces that you may find in it. It's all a part of the fruit and vegetable that was in there. So I'll go ahead and keep those. But I really love this juice. I feel like when I drink this, and I don't know what carrots really do for you, I don't know what apples do or celery or ginger. I don't know 100% from a health perspective what it does to the body, but I know that I feel more awake and more aware and more alert when I drink this juice, especially when I'm not eating any meat. This will be like the first thing that I drink in the morning, and it really makes me feel good and energized. So if any of you out there know the characteristics of beets, carrots, apples, celery, ginger, what those do for us as far as how they feed our body, the nutrients that we receive from them, definitely leave me a comment, because there's something about this combination that does that for me. Now, that gives me that energy. Now, it could just be because I'm not eating any meat and I'm taking in raw nutrients from the fruits and vegetables. And remember, this isn't just a fruit kind of thing. The carrots are adding its veggie, the celery veggie, the ginger, you know. So it kind of balances out, but the carrots are sweet and the apple is very sweet. So this is a tasty drink. And the ginger helps to kind of give you a little kick, a little pick me up. Now, what I will say, you can see, I wanted to show you how dirty this gets. So you see all of this back here. This is the trash. It's like all of that. You see all that carrot, and we got the apple. We don't have much of the celery in here, it's just a little bit. It's like it chopped up most of the celery. But I always say I can make some carrot cake, which I never made. From the carrots that come out of here. Now, to clean this, I just have to take this part down, because this locks it in place so it knows that no one can lift this up and it can turn on. It doesn't turn on if this isn't locked in place. And then you just take this off. All this is trash. And then you have to take the blade. All this comes up where the blade is. Let me see if I can. And it comes with a brush so that you can clean it real good. For some reason I'm having issues, but this comes off of here. I haven't juiced in a long time. I'm telling you, this comes off. There it is. So that lifts up, comes out. This comes out. That's the thing that's actually cutting up the veggies. And then that's the reservoir where the juice is flowing down into the spout. And so we take all of this and it gets cleaned. Now, I do want to continue to talk about mindset. I talked about mindset earlier this month, and you can actually go there. I believe it was on October 16th. You can go see the video. I talked about you need a mindset shift in order to use the law of attraction. And that is really true. The law of attraction can kind of appear to conflict with your base belief system. But in actuality, it really doesn't when you really open your mind and pay attention to the things that are telling you. Because I know growing up Christian, the Bible tells me to ask for what I want and to believe I'm going to receive it. You know what I mean? And that's what the law of attraction in a nutshell is also saying to you. So I just ask you to take this time to think about it, because there are a lot of people in this world who are using the law of attraction, who have the proper mindset to use it, the proper mindset to be successful in general, and they are banging it up out here in this world. I saw a post on Facebook the other day, and it said, which are you, single, fat? It was a couple other negative things as a result of the pandemic. And I laughed because I was none of those four things. First off, well, I am single, but I've always been single. So that wasn't anything. And then there was something else that they had said, I don't remember. But then when he said fat, I'm like, no, I actually have been, I've lost weight and I've been more in shape since the pandemic. And then he said broke. And actually, because I'm not spending the money that I would be spending if I had been driving to work every day, having lunch, going to happy hour, all those incidentals, going to restaurants with my family in the evening, all of that has kind of been cut out for the most part, outside of if I've gone and done carry out, and I haven't done much of that because I've been cooking, as you know. So the pandemic has really been good for me in getting my mindset right and understanding that no matter what it looks like in the world, it's about how you perceive it to be. So how are you looking at things? Because I looked at the pandemic as a time where I could focus on myself and do the things that I wanted to do and get myself right. Now, granted, I have been blessed and I have been gainfully employed this entire time, and I'm so grateful for that. I know everyone doesn't have that situation. But even if that is your situation where I think that's a bag my son put over there. Oh my Lord. Anyway, it scared me. Even if you have had, your finances have been challenged during this time, doesn't mean that there aren't some things that you could have gained and learned from now. And what I also like to say, I'm not a very political person, but if you were concerned about how the pandemic treated you, whether you felt like it was good or it was bad, if you felt like it was our president's fault or not, do we need a change in government or not, whatever that is that you feel, and that energy that you have, you need to use that and go out to vote. Because our vote does matter. And I do understand on the presidential level, the Electoral College elects the president. The popular vote does not. But there are a lot of other things that we are voting for. We're having bond elections right now, which is talking about the money and the taxations that's going to happen to the people in a community. You want to go and say your piece about that. You have senators being elected, congressmen being elected to federal government. Then you have your local legislation that's going on. So there's a lot to vote for. And especially locally, you voting for your sheriffs, your county judges, your chief of police, I believe, right? Don't we vote for them too? Like, all this voting is going on. And in a time like this, where we have had so much change or disruption that has occurred, you want to make sure as the disruption occurs, it's swinging, that pendulum is swinging in your direction. That's going to happen by you going out to vote. So I'm going to get off my little go vote thing, but go vote. And I'm going to actually taste this juice. And yes, it always looks foamy like this, but when I pour it, what ends up happening, the foam stays and then I get the juice. So I'm going to go ahead and get me a glass. So let's see how it goes. Let's see how the foam didn't come out. The foam stayed. See how pretty that is? It probably it smells so good because the main ingredient that I smell is the ginger. Tastes like I remember. Now, when I first started doing this, I did not have the ginger in there. We didn't do the ginger. I didn't really know about ginger in that sense. I knew about ginger eating it with sushi. That's about it. I never sprinkled ginger on any of my food. I wasn't very knowledgeable of ginger and the flavor that it added to dishes. I am now. I buy ginger all the time. I keep it, and I actually put it in my shakes and smoothies when I have it as well. So this is also just good so that you have something tasty to drink, something flavorful that doesn't have sugar added. It's not a bottled juice. And I would say this will last between 3 and 5 days. So you don't want to just do like 2 giant pitchers of it unless you're in a household where everyone is going to drink a glass every day. Then you will finish it because it is fresh. It doesn't have any preservatives in it, so it doesn't last. It doesn't have a shelf life as long as like a juice that you would buy in the market. But it's really, really yummy. Now, we can continue to talk a little bit about mindset, and then I'll let you go today. Law of attraction is a different kind of concept. It can kind of rock your boat a little bit, when you hear it. Like I've told you, I think earlier this month, I was taken aback a little bit by it and didn't really understand it, didn't grasp it. It sounded like some mystical stuff people were thinking or believing in. But what I have discovered as I've continued to educate myself on the law of attraction and digest what it really means, There are a lot of logical principles in the law of attraction, but it takes an open mind, the proper mindset, the mindset shift in order to see it. Because the law of attraction is just having you focus on something that you want, that you've already said you wanted, and it's saying that you're going to pull that to you faster. Some can think it's pulling you to you faster by just some powers that be, right? But logically, what I notice that happens for me, when I've set my mind on doing something that I know that I want, I begin to be open to doing the steps that it takes to get there. Where before I wasn't, and that's why I didn't have it. That's why I didn't achieve that particular thing. So just remember that. When you are decided that you're going to use the law of attraction, what ends up happening, you begin to say, okay, I'm open and I believe I'm going to receive this. And then so you open because of your mindset, then you believe. Remember, I talked about that MBA, mindset, belief, action. And then you'll find yourself seeing opportunities that you then take action on that help to bring your manifestation to you faster. I believe those opportunities are always there, but we can't see them because we don't have the proper mindset and we don't believe that we can have the thing that we want. So we never see the things that we can take action on because our mind isn't right. That's why mindset is key. Now, the activity in the workbook wants you to write down the type of mindset that it is that you want and wants you to focus on that. But I also want you to know, in order to have the right mindset, you need to educate yourself on the thing or the concept that you want to be knowledgeable about. So ministers, preachers, reverends, priests, they study to be that, so that they can understand the ins and outs about their holy text, so that they can then interpret it properly for their congregation. But it takes education because they have to understand their text to deliver it to their flock. The mindset shifting is the same thing. And I believe I told you this. You have to educate yourself. So I did mention, The Secret is one of those books that people generally go get. You can rent it on Netflix. Well, watch it, stream it on Netflix. There are a lot of different law of attraction books. And then there are people who are the big gurus. And then you got the little people. Like you got big people, Bob Proctor. You have Jack Canfield. You have Rhonda Byrne, who I believe is The Secret. And then there's this couple, the Abraham Hicks. They named the author is Abraham Hicks, but it's actually a husband and wife couple who actually wrote those books. And all of these different gurus of the law of attraction kind of interpret it in a different way. All similar, but also a little different. So it's important for you to go out there and just start educating yourself and just reading, because then you will find that author that you resonate with. I'm the kind of person that I've picked up a little bit from everybody that I've read, and I've ingested it. Now I work it from my vantage point. And I just want everybody else to win, and that is why I'm sharing this. So if you like this video, give me thumbs up. Also know that there's a share button down here with an arrow. You can click on that. You can share this to your social media platform. You can share this to Facebook for sure. And also leave a comment. How do you feel about the juice? Go out and make it. Remember, it's just very simple ingredients. What do we have in it? We have carrots, we have apples, we have celery, we have ginger, and we have beets. And I don't know what beets do for us, but I like it. Changes the color of the drink, and that's why I like the beets added. And my face is going to be up here in a circle. So I want you to click on my face, select the gray bell, select all, and that way you'll be notified to all my content that I'll place up here to YouTube, and you will be subscribed. And I want you to have a great day, dreamers.